Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another political episode. So it is very unknown news. It's basically by unknown. I mean, is it's not been talked about very much. We're still trying to figure it out. We're trying to still figure out what happened in this case. But apparently, on Wednesday, the WALZ administration has been caught doing some dirty and very fishy stuff. So, if you guys were unaware, this I have a little story to tell. So I was at the park and um doing my thing, and then I get a text, a campaign text from the Waltz administration. But what was very weird about it is it was from my dad. Okay, my dad wouldn't usually do this stuff, and he was very silent when it comes to politics. He's very personal. He doesn't want like to talk about it. So it was very weird that he would send a text from uh, about Tim Walz and trying to push victory for Tim Walz. I asked him about it, and then he responded in a way he would never usually respond. He told me that, are you opposed to people working? And then I'm like, okay, this is not my dad. And then I get a text later on saying that he was hacked. And I knew it must have been because my dad, this was not my dad. It's either someone grabbed a hold of his phone or someone hacked him. So I then called him. He explained it. It's been a thing. I believe it's called, I don't know, some organization that is working with the Waltz administration, trying basically going hacking people's phones, grabbing phone numbers, and basically spam texting around. And it said, and I didn't really think about the issue because I looked it up on Google, nothing popped up. And I guarantee you, this is probably the case. It's probably not being talked about. So I dismissed the issue. I'm like, okay, I mean, it's, it's a few days till election day. So I cared less. And I moved on with my day. Next day, I hear from my dad. I heard on the radio that the DFL has been caught hacking Facebook. And I'm like, what? I looked it up. Nothing. Once again, I think that must have been taken out of proportion. So I'm like, okay. I moved on from it. And then it was on Friday when it all came together. So it was because it popped the radio at WCCO, which has been very more center left, exposed the Waltz administration's failure. That the Waltz administration was potentially hacking people's Facebook accounts and posting, and once again doing the same thing with the phones, spamming political information about their campaign to their to this hacked individual's friends and family, and then it'd be like a virus. So it more and more we're getting more information. I try to avoid not making this video because I'm afraid, okay, maybe this is completely a misunderstanding. But more and more, we're learning more information about this. And the more and more this is becoming more of an issue and a problem. So I'm at least going to address the issue just like I addressed the hammer issue. Nothing big, nothing really political. So the big thing is the one big reason I'm talking about this is we have the left wing organization WCCO, which is not very left wing like CNN. It's very center, more titsy bit center left, but normally they've been saying a lot of good accomplishments the Tim Waltz administration did, but then for the first time, WCCO slammed the Waltz administration for this. We do not know if the Waltz administration is involved or if there's been individuals. All we know, this is an organization. It's not just one person. It's an organization, a group of people that supports WALZ. We do not know currently. Some sources are saying that the Tim Walz administration is involved in this completely. Some say they aren't. Saying that it's just an organization that's kind of doing a dirty job. Ultimately, yes, this ultimately is probably going to increase the Republican margin because once again, the idea, and it's always been this way. People in all of election history, there has been scandal after scandal. Presidential election history, when Richard Nixon and the Nixon administration went to Watergate, guess what? Richard Nixon, who has been one of the most popular presidents of all time, 74% of approval rating, drops all the way to the 20s, even 19%. He dropped like 60 points in approval rating. So obviously, Minnesotans are very kind and nice, and they obviously do the right thing. They're the do the right thing type of people. And what the Walz administration, it's no secret, it's wrong. And it's very wrong to take over someone's account, their private information, and potentially ruin a relationship between your friends and family by spamming on their other pages. It's very wrong. And morally, it's wrong either way. Same thing with the hammer issue when this guy broke into Nancy Pelosi's home and hammered his husband. Same thing. This is very wrong. So most likely, the Jensen margin is to grow because of this. This has made public. Seen over 1 million Minnesotans have received their either texts, had experienced hacked texts or hacked accounts. So yes, this is just a quarter of the Minnesotan population, but still, it is still a lot. Another thing I want to talk to you about is the House, and that's something I didn't talk to you guys about. Was the House for Minnesota? The thing about Minnesota, our House districts have historically every single House district has voted Democrat at one point, except for District 6. And I'll go over that with you. This one went Democrat for a while, thanks to Duluth, Native American populations in the north and west, Bemidji, and the Iron Range, which potentially is a Democrat stronghold soon, and also a little bit of Washington County up here. And then this area, which is now a pretty big Republican stronghold, was also a Democrat stronghold for a little bit. That was because of over here, Native American populations up here. We had this place. This used to be a Democrat stronghold. Swift County really was a Democrat stronghold. Now it's 64% Republican. Basically, over here was Democrats, but thanks to the farmers, you seem to be voting more Democrat back then. Now they're more Republican. We have the District 1 used to be very Democrat. It still is pretty challengeable, but now is in favor of Republicans. Thanks to Winona. Well, I'm not in favor of Republicans. It is, however, Democrats have Winona, Rochester, Mankato, North Mankato, and some other cities over here that make this place a challengeable place. District 2 is also a very compatible place with the South Metro and Northfield and Faribault. That is also a pretty big challenge. For sure, these 3 are Democrat strongholds. They're a part of the Metro, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And the only district that didn't vote Democrat was District 6. And that's the district I am from. Our representative is Tom Emmer, and he is most likely going to win big this year, or a 60% margin. It's not a surprise. I honestly care less because this county never voted Democrat. Reasons? There's big old Catholic Stearns County. There's big old Republican stronghold Wright County. There's big old Sherborne County, which some sources are saying it's the most Republican county. I disagree because Morrison County voted a whopping 70% for Republicans in 2020. So I strongly disagree. Carver County, although it's more centrist, has never voted Democrat since 1932. And it's tied with Otter Tail. 1932. It's the last time they voted Democrat, and it's currently tied with Otter Tail County for the longest period of time of voting Democrat. Like over 90 years, it's voted Republican. Huge streak. No other county had a longer streak than Carver County. But now let's take a look at the challenges. Republicans are most likely to win this district here, and I know it's super silly. I don't even know my Minnesota districts. That's something I'm going to try to learn. Just don't worry. This is what it's most likely looking like. But now we have District 2. It's more of a toss-up. And why is it in a toss-up? Well, this is District 1, by the way. It's a toss-up because you realize, oh, look, there's LeSure County. It's also a very big Republican stronghold. There's also below the metro is very Republican. And it has just as much people as people in the South Metro. There's also Lakeville, and that's the biggest Republican city in the whole state. 70,000 people, and it votes Republican. And that's pretty big. Like, oh, you think, and that's a part of the metro, and you go, oh, that would be easily going to Democrats. No, actually, it's voted for Trump twice in high margin. So it's very, very winnable for Republicans. So District 2, I've been to District 2. I'm very familiar with District 2. I go to District 2 every week in Shakopee mainly, and they're having a hard time getting Andrew Craig into another term in office. Ultimately, the Republican is seeing some gains in popularity. I've met both people that are in support equally from Angie Craig and the Republican candidates. I just wish I'm blundering on his name. I had his name stuck in my head for a very long time, but then of course I forget. I can look it up. Okay. We know it's between. Oh, yes. Tyler Kistner. Yes, Kistner is seeing some good gains in the county. So potentially, if this scandal was to get very popular, we could see Kistner. I could say Kistner is at a tilt right now because Minnesota, if you are unaware, I've looked up on the news recently for Minnesota. DFL is really panicking because District 2, although it's a very tilt, Republicans are seeing gains in District 2. Ultimately, Republicans could potentially win District 2. So, what do you guys think on this? I believe Kistner has a higher chance in winning than Scott Jensen. So if Jensen's high in the polls, I think Kistner is probably going to win in a more tilter margin. So this is my prediction for Minnesota House. What do you guys think about this? All right, as you wait, this is Saturday. That as I'm filming this, we are counting the days desperately to Election Day. And I'll see you guys in the next political episode.